Utilizing a green screen for your productions can help raise the values of your video shoots. It's going to take us 4 simple steps. Step number 1, we're going to take a look at some simple best practices and some pre-planning that we could do when utilizing a green screen. Step number 2, we're going to take a look at how to light our subjects. Step number 3, we're going to light our green screen. And step number 4, we're going to put the elements together and create our illusion. I'm Tom Skronsky, and this is green screen lighting. Step number 1 is going to be our pre-planning process. We're going to utilize these 3 Hollywood soft lights to help light our subject and to also light our screen. And we're going to use this light, our softbox light, as our main key that's going to provide the biggest source of illumination to that scene. Now, the other thing we need to pay attention to is that the imaging sensor in these bad boys here is much more sensitive to green rather than red or blue. Now, what's going to happen if they do use the same color is that A, it'll be used for comedic effect, as you can see here, and B, it'll eliminate the body from the picture or whatever area is covered by that color. Since we're keying out the same color, unfortunately it keys out the colors that are on the body as well. Now, the last part of this process is you're going to want to make sure that your screen is void of ripples and nice and smooth and very stretched out. The reason for this is because if you do have ripples, it'll create small little shadows that'll affect the color of your key. Now we're going to jump into step number 2 of this tutorial, and we're going to talk about the lights. The first thing we're going to light is our green screen. We're going to take 2 lights, number 1 right here, and we're going to move it just about 15 degrees in line with the green screen. Now we're also going to do that with the other light. And the reasoning for this is so that these lights will light this screen independently and also bounce the light into each other right off of the green screen. This creates a nice evenly lit screen void of any shadows, any ripples, since our screen is pulled tight, and it's going to make it very easy for us to sample one color and make sure it stays consistent across the key. Let's go ahead and set up our green screen. Julie, you think you can help me out with this light over here? I'll grab this light. So once we get our lighting just right, you can notice that the reason we do this is because it allows us to separate this key and allows us the most control possible over the green screen. Now that we have our green screen set up, we're going to light our subject independently as we take a look at step number 3. I'd like to bring in Julie one more time. We're going to have Julie stand right about here, as you guys can see, about 3 feet away from our green screen. She's going to be our weather girl for this step. Using the techniques from 3-point lighting, we'll take the use of a key light and the use of a fill light to light our subject from both sides. This softbox light we're going to be using as our key light, which is going to provide the main source of illumination for Julie here, is we're going to want to raise this about 3 or 4 feet higher than she is herself, so that it can reflect a more natural lighting scenario, such as the sun bringing down light upon you. And the idea is to provide a lot of light, and with our fill light, we're going to clean up the subject. When we move our fill light into place, we're going to want it to be a little bit less intense than our key light, and it's going to spread a lot of soft light, and it's going to cover a surface area more so than the key light, which is going to kind of be a little bit more harsh and more direct on our subject, even though we are using a very powerful softbox light. But now, if we come to our camera and we look at our LCD screen, we can monitor just how well she's lit, and we can see where the shadows are and where the shadows shouldn't be. So now we have successfully lit our green screen, and we have successfully independently lit our subject. The last part of the puzzle is to sell the effect, create the illusion. Since Julie is going to be our weather girl, she's going to need to act like she's telling the weather. Therefore, when we put the graphic behind her of the actual weather map, it looks like it's one continuous shot. It looks like it's been done live, and that's the key here. Julie, act away.
We have a ridge of low pressure coming down here, which will bring some wind and cooler weather, but up here, it's going to be hot, hot, hot.
Utilizing these 4 simple steps, all of us can light a green screen. The first, just make sure that you yourself are prepared. Number 2, make sure you light the green screen itself and separate it from the subject, which is step number 3, lighting that person using a studio environment. And number 4, make sure you sell the effect.